Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am finally here to close out my July monthly budget. I have been wanting to do this for quite some time, but there's just been a lot going on here with the move, and I'm just ready to close this out and finally film my week one check-in for August. So let's go ahead and get started. I have here these stickers that I'll need, the budget expense stickers. These are in the plum paper planner size because I am, as you guys may or may not know, using a plum paper monthly planner. And so in this video, I'm not only going to be weekly checking in for week 5, which for me is from July the 27th until the 31st, but I'm also going to be closing out my sinking funds, giving you guys the total amount that I spent, as well as kind of the ending that I have, which should match up to my beginning in the month of August, as well as I'll go ahead and give you guys a rundown of whatever is left for my variable income spread, as well as close out my July monthly budget spread. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first purchase I had was on the 27th, and I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I wanted to use up my leftover money that I had in my beauty cash dividers. So I went ahead and used up the $17 for my beauty cash envelope with the rest of my Sephora purchase, which if you guys are interested in knowing what it is that I bought, I ended up buying the full-size skincare that I showed you guys last time, as well as a full-size like a brightening eye cream that I've heard is really good, and that was around like $89, which sounds like a lot. I know it's a lot, but they're pretty big, and even the little one that I have, I think it lasted me for like a month and a half, I want to say. So I took out the rest of that money from my allowance, so I have left over $12 in allowance now. So the way that I'm going to do this is, as you guys know, I have my little key here that tells me which categories, which colors are for. So I am going to take the $17 from beauty and the $72 from allowance. So both of them say Sephora, but I did want to make it very clear that I did take some money from different cash dividers. So that's kind of how I'm going to go about that. And then the last purchase that I had this week, the last week of July, was I pumped gas on the 31st, right before we went to go sign the leasing agreement for our new apartment. And I think, yeah, that is pretty much all the transactions that I've made from my actual cash dividers, which is what I like to weekly check in for. So aside from this, let me go ahead and now take you to my weekly check-in page, and I'm going to write my categories down. So I have groceries, eating out, which I didn't spend money for during this week. I think the main reason was because I knew that I was going to be moving, so I didn't want to buy any unnecessary groceries, as well as I was probably getting fed by my parents. So that was nice. Miss those days. Allowance, beauty, and I'm budgeted. If you guys are wondering how come you guys are not seeing any like moving out expenses or whatnot, I did make a moving out budget video mentioning how all of the expenses specifically for moving out are getting taken out of my moving out savings fund, which is a savings fund that I started in the beginning of the year. So that's kind of why you guys are not seeing anything come out of like my cash dividers, because these are just set amounts that I give myself for a specific month, and it doesn't necessarily have to do much with my moving out savings fund. But I think for sure next month you guys will be seeing a couple of like household expenses, because I now do have that cash divider created for the month of August. So now let me go ahead and go one by one. I for sure know that I don't have any grocery expenses, so I should still have $18, which I do have the cash right here. I was thinking if I wanted to roll over the money or if I wanted to, you know, put it back into the budget, but I think I might end up rolling over things like groceries and allowance. For sure allowance, because I now made allowance a sinking fund, which sounds a little bit complicated, but I will explain more of this in my week one check-in for the month of August. And then, like I mentioned, for eating out, I didn't spend any money, so I still have $10 here. Gas, I spent $25, which was what I had remaining for the month. I definitely didn't want to go over this because I knew that I didn't need to. So this is 0 remaining. For allowance, I spent, let me check this off. I spent $72. And I had 84, so that means that I should have $12 left. And then for beauty, it was, how much was it? $17 from beauty. So $17 from beauty, and I had 17 last time, so there's nothing in here either. And then for unbudgeted, there were no unbudgeted expenses this month, which is great. Of course, if I didn't have my moving out savings fund, then there would definitely be a ton of unbudgeted expenses, but that doesn't get anything, so we're just gonna make a dash there. And now I completely forgot, somebody actually mentioned it in my last weekly check-in video, that I didn't lay down any no spend stickers, so I'm going to now be laying down no spends for the rest of the month. I hope I have enough. So let's see, we had one on the 20th, on the 22nd, on the 23rd, 25th, oh I can't wait to count these, 28th, let me see if I have an extra one. I do, I swear, ever since I've had my sister Natalie help me out, I have so much stock to work with. So I have one on the 29th, on the 30th, and that's it. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and count all the no spend days for this month. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 no spend days, which I think that's more than I had last week, I want to say. And let me just lay down also my payday stickers right here. So I have one there, which that's my last sheet of those. And then I had one on the 28th. Okay, perfect. So I have 16 no spend days, which is kind of crazy. I don't think I've had that many. So that definitely pumps me up, you know, and I think having no spend days and counting them down with you guys really keeps me motivated to, you know, not spend money and every single day. And if I have to spend money, sometimes I will try to make purchases, like bulk purchases per day, so that I at least have as many no spend days as I do now. So love that for me. So now let's go ahead and move on to my sinking funds spread. I'm going to go ahead and close these out. So what I'm going to do so that I have this page a little bit lifted is I'm going to go like this. Okay, so I hope you guys can see it there, but all right, so I am going to go through every single fund and see how much I've spent. For adventures, we had 2 transactions. One was $125 and the other one was $129. So in total, I spent $254. So subtracting that from what I added and what I already had, I have ending for the month of July, maybe I should close this, $56. Ooh, this is different because this is my first time having this on 2 pages, but that's okay. All right, maybe next time I'll put my transaction log on this side, I mean for like September, and the sinking funds on this side. Okay, I think that's a little better. Next up is birthdays. Let's see, for birthdays we had 1 transaction for $40, and so that means that I have $40 left over. That's not looking too cute, but that's okay. Car insurance is always $200, and so I'm ending with $30. Cart maintenance, I didn't have any cart maintenance, so 0 went out, and that means that I have $300 ending for cart maintenance for the month of July. Nothing ever comes out of my car payment fund, so I'm still ending with $373. Christmas, nothing. And I am ending with $600. Next, for clothing, I had a dollar, I added 79, and I spent, let's see, 46 and 26. So I have $8 left, and I spent 72. Date night. For date night, I had 99 and added 11, and I spent 25. So I am ending with, that's the only one, yeah, $85. Entertainment, I spent $35 from, this is when I paid Paul back. We went to this kind of collectibles type of deal. It's called Frank and Sons, and I believe we just split what we bought, so I just gave him $35. And that came out of entertainment, which I've been saying how I really want to use this fund, and I'm glad that I have it here. That way it didn't have to come out of like my allowance or anything like that. So that was a really fun day actually. So I started with 60, added 10, minus 35. That means I still have 35 left. Medical, I spent 18 and 190 for my contacts. So that is a total of 108. I have $42 left in my medical sinking fund. And last but not least, for my Peru trip, I have not spent anything out of that. And that means that I am ending with $1,150. So now let me go ahead and add all of the money that's going out of my sinking funds. 272, 25, 35, 208. I spent a total of $834 out of my sinking funds. But let's see the ending. 56, 40, 30, 300, 373, 600, 8, 85, 35, 42, and 1,150. I am ending with 2,719. So that is pretty much how I like to close out my sinking funds at the end of the month. Of course, this number should match up with the beginning number for the month of August. So that is going to be it for this page. And now moving on to closing out my July budget spread. The only thing I have here for my variable income is I found a little sticky note with all the shipping charges that I've had for this month, as well as I only had one more expense on the 29th for $22.25 from Crafts by Towie once again, with their foiled icons. And she had really cute ones that I've been wanting, like some laptop ones, filming ones, one more. I can't recall which one it was, but that was what I bought. And the last expense from my variable income. Now I went ahead and did add Amazon in here because I did get a paycheck from the Amazon affiliate program. So now let's go ahead and close out my budget spread. Of course, now that we see how much money we have remaining in our cash dividers, which I have everything right here, by the way. This is for my allowance, I have $12. For eating out, I have 10. And for groceries, I have $18. So that is what I have left over from those cash dividers. And I think as of now, really thinking about it, I am going to roll over every single one of these amounts to the month of August. So we'll go ahead and roll over the $18, $10, and $12. So then the actuals for all of my cash envelopes are going to be the same exact as the budgeted amount. And then I'll go ahead and show you guys how I will add it onto my cash dividers. Well, with the exception of allowance, whatever I have for allowance is going to go straight into my new allowance sinking fund. So then, like I mentioned, everything's going to be the same here. So there's not going to be any variances for my cash dividers. So 100 for allowance, $160 for beauty. And then for phone bill, I believe that ended up being less than $115. It was $110 with 20 cents. So I was under by $4.80. The nutritionist ended up being a little bit more just because they did charge me, and I gave her a bit of a tip when I sent it through Zoom on PayPal. So the actual was $48. So that means that I was over by $8. Oops. There. And then there were no budgeted expenses, which is great. And then let me go ahead and add everything here. So I was just over by $8, which is not bad at all. I'm actually pretty proud of myself. But I'm really also happy that I have, like I mentioned time and time again now, that moving out savings fund, because that definitely kept me from having budgeted expenses this month. Because you guys know, with the move and all of that, you do spend quite a bit of money, and we have. Believe me. So now for my variance, I was over by $3, which I think I need to get a new marker, and 20 cents, which is not bad at all. And now the only thing that I need here to add into my fixed expenses and my budget is my extra debt payment, which if you guys have checked out my debt snowball video for the month of July, you guys know that I made an extra debt payment of $553 with 16 cents. And now I can go ahead and total all of these up. So we have 400 plus 348.06 plus 699, 130.77, 150, 912, and 553 with 16 cents. That is a total of 2,500 with 98 cents. So now what I would do after I'm done with both of those expenses is I will go ahead and write down my actuals. And so for the fixed expenses is going to be exactly the same thing for budgeted and actual, but it did change for variable expenses. Not too much, but I do like to put kind of what I thought it was going to be, the budget amounts, and then what it ended up being. Okay, and then from here, I can go ahead and add both of these numbers for you guys, just so you guys know how much all of my expenses were for the month of July. So in total, my expenses totaled to $3,359 with 18 cents. And so what I would do from now is I will go ahead and take the expected amount for both my paycheck that I received from my shop, Romina Rosa, as well as all of my variable income sources, put the actuals. And the way that I do it from my variable income is I will of course subtract all of my expenses for my variable income sources, and then whatever I have left over, that is what I bring into my actual. And then I will just get the variances from both of those, put my expected and actual income, subtract all of my expenses from that income, and whatever it is that I get after that, I will go ahead and, in the past, I've separated between either my debt, what's going into my regular emergency fund, what's going into my moving out savings fund, and all of that. And as of now, I am working into saving money for my 3 to 6 month emergency savings fund. So that's kind of what I'm working towards now. So with that being said, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video coming along as I close out my July monthly budget. If you guys enjoyed it, please, as always, do not forget to give this a huge thumbs up, as well as subscribe to my channel if you guys are not subscribed already. And hopefully I will get to see you guys on my next video. Bye guys.